just for fun. 3 interesting bikes I want to show you within the workshop this week. Let's take a look. No big deal. This is just a bike that I'm personally very interested in because I like the construction method. This is a first look. I don't have the opportunity to ride this sadly, but this is the new 3T RaceMax Italia. It is as close as you're going to get to a Time-esque resin transfer molded frame. So these are made in Italy with a variety of different techniques. So down here on the down tube, they use a filament winding. So you can imagine a big machine just wrapping around that wax mold. And then there's parts here which are woven, just like you've seen in that Time video. And then there are other parts which are sort of a pre-preg. And then there are other parts of the frame that are actually sort of bonded, like you saw from Officine Matteo. So almost every type of construction method in here. This bike is all about the carbon layup, and in this sort of Italia Project X colour finish, you can see all the different techniques all put together. It's like an engineer's bike. You can get really geeky as to how it's made. Anyway, this is the new version. They brought out some fantastic new features, like some fancy little removable little rear light. That's quite nice. Some proper built-in frame storage using a Fidlock system. Loving that. Actually seems pretty solid. It's all got like gaskets on there and everything. And they made some changes to the geometry. So there's 2 models. They did the Extrema, which is their really slack angled, really wide tyres, which now has even wider tyres. And then there's the RaceMax, which is, well, about racing. Made this geometry a little bit steeper, but then just changed the fork offset, sort of maintain the trail measurement, which is a nice little feature. But yeah, just admire this absolutely beautiful construction technique. I love it. So the dropouts here are forged like we've seen before and then laid over. This part here is all filament wound. This comes into the woven section around this bridge, and then the top tube again filament wound and reinforced around the rivets with another sheet of carbon. And then around here by the head tube, a very SL8 sort of styled nose, if you like, and you can see where they put the reinforcing plates over this filament winding. Fork is slightly more standard pre-preg construction, and of course drop stays. This is all made up of the woven technique. Absolutely fascinating bike. If you want to know more about these fascinating bikes, let us know, and I'm going to try and blag one for a proper test ride. I bet it goes really fast. Next up, you're gonna love this. This just came in. This is a bike from a company called Sturdy Cycles. They do some off-the-shelf bike, but they're mostly all custom. This is pretty much 100% titanium. So seat post clamp, stem, handlebars, fork, cranks, chainrings, all titanium. Absolutely stunning attention to detail. So one thing I really like is this whole stem setup here. There's literally no headset parts you can see there at all. It's been absolutely custom made just to be a part of the bike. And this little insert here keeps everything lined up, and how they've managed to do the anodizing fade just works perfectly. So we go from sort of the yellow into the purples to the blues and then back out to the yellows again. Now the handlebars in 2 pieces. So the stem looks like it's a 1-piece forged section, and then they weld here. So it's quite a wide handlebar here with a really sharp 90-degree bend. So it's going to be great for just resting your hands in various locations. Love that. But then this fork, this all looks like it's been like 3D printed, and then these dropouts here, there's a weld section here on both sides. I kind of like the fact that the welds are there. You can still see them, but they just tell that they've been worked and looked after. It's quite nice to see the craftsmanship. This whole seat post area, again, you can see here, there's a weld and a weld. Like this is all one sort of 3D printed section, and then the various tubes welded on sort of to get that custom geometry. I love that. And then these cranks, we've got a T47 bottom bracket, and these custom cranks look absolutely beautiful. And interestingly, they've even anodized the inside of the chain rings. Now that is what you call extreme attention to detail. And of course, this rider's put it together with some really nice kit as well. We've got the classified hub, and just very neatly tucked away here where that shift is. Really smart. We'll put that away and just remind you of the other titanium bike that we had in from Riley. Similar idea, but remember, carbon fork. Now, if you haven't seen the video on this, I'll link that down below, but we've got this in the raffle at the moment. We've got about another 3 weeks to go until we take the draw. Looks like we've sold loads of tickets, so someone is definitely going to be walking away with this absolutely beautiful bike, remember, all custom anodized. Bit of a different take from the Sturdy Cycles, still absolutely beautiful. Right, one more thing I want to show you. Hey Tom, what's going on here? This doesn't look good. Brand new bike.
So Commencal direct-to-consumer model here. We've got you spec your bike, they build it, they ship it, it goes to your door ready to ride. Not so much in this case. We've had to do the Euro brake hose swap from Euro braking to UK braking for the rider.
But in that process, I mean, this was leaking.
Yeah, it was leaking from the get-go, and we've gone to inspect it as well as like flip it over.
Yeah.
All of the threads here are mashed.
There's like no threads left in there at all. No wonder it was leaking. And then what's going on this side?
We have.
Yeah, completely different setup. So this is how it should be, apart from the fact the threads are all gold, but that O-ring should be inside. So it's going to be completely bodged, really. What a shame. So really, I mean, the nice thing is what they have done for people doing Euro conversions, they've at least thought about us Brits and given us enough hose just about to go to the right side, but completely mashed it in the process. Now we've had this bike for 2 weeks now. What's Commencal's solution?
So Commencal's solution, we got the customer to email Commencal noting these problems. We sent them pictures, serial numbers, etc. And they said, right, we will send out a new master cylinder.
That's the
this
brake
side.
lever. Yeah.
And can you get the shop to order the olivers and inserts? Can do, not a problem. But we're 2 weeks in and we've got not very much further.
Still waiting for a master cylinder.
We have a master cylinder on there, yeah.
Frustrating for the customer. You buy a brand new bike, you're dead excited, you get a very limited amount of time to report all these problems, time is ticking.
And it's an expensive bike, like a really expensive bike.
And it's my frustrations as a bike shop owner is when you buy direct, you know, these brands need to take more responsibility for looking after their customers. If this was a bike that bought in this bike shop, you'd be driving to your bike shop full of complaints and anger, and direct, all you can do is wait.
Yeah.
They're so far removed from you as a customer, you just got to sit there and wait.
Nothing you can really do. And sadly in this case, the customer has already took the time to Invisiframe it at home himself, and that means that he doesn't really want to send the bike back.
Well, you can't, essentially. You've got your 14-day cooling off period, and you've ruined your 14-day cooling off period by putting an Invisiframe onto it. Yeah. Oh, it's an absolute minefield. Thanks for talking us through that, Tom. That's right. I hope you enjoyed this video, a little bit of a walkthrough of what's going on in the workshop right now. Subscribe for more, and we'll see you in the next one.